one is way more confident for me, and I think we're going to be on the same side. Eagles at Redskins. This line opened up Eagles -6. I saw it went to 6.5, and now it's back down to 6. So who do you like in this game?
Yeah, I like Washington a lot. I mean, everyone. I was talking to my boss at Sporting News, and he was asking me and my fellow fantasy writer, like, hey, who would you rather have in a survivor pool, the Colts or the Eagles this week? And my coworker answered Eagles, and I said Colts by a long shot. I think Washington has a chance to win this game, and they both kind of. This was over Messenger, so they couldn't see me or anything, but I could feel them looking at me like I was crazy. But I think this game's just going to trick a lot of people. You remember week 1 last year, Washington actually almost beat Philadelphia in the opener. If not for some bad defensive breakdowns and a couple missed throws by Case Keenum, I think they would have. But if you look at it now, they have a better coaching staff. They have a quarterback who seems ready, maybe not to like break out and become like an elite quarterback, but he could really rise after struggling last year and playing better towards the end of the year. Dwayne Haskins, I think he could be much better. And on the other side of things, the Eagles are down 2 offensive linemen. They're going to be without Brandon Brooks and Andre Dillard. And their left tackle replacement for Dillard was so bad that they had to kick Jason Peters back outside to tackle. So that tells you that they really aren't confident in their 5th offensive lineman. Whoever's going to be playing at guard with Isaac Soyomalo at left guard. So there's going to be some holes on the interior, and Washington's pass rush is so good. They have 5 former first-round picks and Matt Ioannidis up there. They're going to get a ton of pressure on Carson Wentz, who is without Alshon Jeffrey, playing with Deshaun Jackson, who he loves throwing to. But, Jackson's been injury-prone, even though he torched the Redskins week 1 last year. But Carson Wentz has been dealing with some groin tightness. So if he's not fully healthy and can't move around the pocket, it's going to make it hard for him to find success against this team. I also think there's going to be a motivational edge for Washington, kind of proving like, hey, like we can win now that we have good coaching, because they had Jay Gruden there for 5 or 6 years and it just didn't go well. And also Rivera was recently diagnosed with cancer and he had to miss practice today for treatment. So I think there's going to be a motivational edge of saying like, hey, let's win this one for coach too, and show him like, hey, we're ready to play hard for you. Rivera's a great motivator anyway. So there's just all of this stuff that's kind of piling up against the Eagles in my book. So I'm all over Washington. I think they could win it outright. I think they cover this at the least. I think the Eagles are being vastly overrated. So I'm on Washington +6 for 4 units right now. This is one of my favorite plays of the week.
Yeah, I'm even higher. I'm on them for 5 units. I love the Redskins. I think they're a great play this week. I don't understand why the Eagles are favored by 6. Well, I guess I should say, like, I can understand the public sentiment. Like, they're still being priced like they just recently went to the Super Bowl. And yeah, that team was amazing. That team was great in the trenches. And you could say this team still is on the defensive side of the ball. I like their defensive line. But the rest of their defense is not very good. Their linebacking core is awful. And their secondary lost Malcolm Jenkins. I know they got Darius Slay, who's is definitely an upgrade at corner, but losing Jenkins, I think, is huge. So this defense is not nearly as good as it used to be. And then you mentioned the offensive line, like down 2 starters against one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL. I think the Redskins, like you were saying with the survivors stuff, like, yeah, I would definitely not take the Eagles. They're going to be my trap team of the week. And I think I would say like percentage chance these teams win this game. I think the Eagles are like 51%, 52% to win outright. So, getting 6 points seems amazing to me. Like, as long as Dwayne Haskins isn't terrible, like that hasn't regressed a lot. And I don't see why that would happen. I think the Redskins should be able to win this game for sure. So yeah, I think it's going to be a 3-point game either way. And you talked about the matchups last year. The Redskins nearly won both of them. And now the Redskins are better than they were last year, and now the Eagles are worse than they were last year. So, this spread is way off. My line is Philadelphia -1, so it's about even. And I like what you said about Ron Rivera. I actually saw that news today that he missed practice. I kind of had like a panic attack. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to bet the Redskins now. Then I thought about it. I remember like Chuck Pagano, like they really play for him. Ron Rivera is a very liked head coach. So I think that the Redskins might win this one for him. So it's maybe a motivational edge for them too. So yeah, Redskins for 5 units.
Yeah, I think that the Rivera thing, especially because this was announced just a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "I'm gonna coach through all of this," and like it's only minor, and I really want to be here for everyone. So I think that matters for this team, especially they have a lot of new personnel in there. People are buying into the culture. They've added savvy veterans like Thomas Davis to the fold, like, people who could be examples for the younger players. So my only concern is on offense. They obviously don't have a lot of weapons, and they don't have the left side of the lines a little bit shaky there. So the Eagles pass rush could do well. But again, so like you said, so long as Dwayne Haskins isn't terrible and doesn't have a ton of turnovers, I think this is going to be a very, very close game.
Ralph is asking if I'm doing confidence pool picks this year. I am. They will be up Wednesday morning, so look out for that on the homepage.